Hi, okay, just a minute. Let me transfer you over to the correct office.
Okay, thank you so much, Lindsay. You've been very helpful.
Afternoon, Public Information, Kathleen.
Yes. Am I speaking with a sworn peace officer?
A who?
A sworn peace officer, somebody that took an oath to the Constitution?
No, I'm a receptionist.
May I please speak with a sworn police officer?
And your name is?
My name is Ashley.
One moment, please.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Vance, may I help you?
Yes, who am I speaking with? What's your name?
You're speaking with Lieutenant Vance.
Oh, nice to meet you, Lieutenant Vance.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Ashley. I have a question. My husband received a letter in the mail regarding... Let me get to it. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
It's from the Field, State of Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, Division of State Police, Special Licensing and Firearms Unit. And it says because he missed the deadline of January 1st, 2014 to register his so-called assault weapon or high-capacity magazines,
yep.
he now has to turn them in or sell them to a dealer.
Yeah, there are four choices, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my question is this. What happens if my husband decides not to do this?
Well, that's a better question for a lawyer, but my understanding is it's a felony to possess an unregistered assault weapon and a high-capacity magazine.
Okay, so what will happen then if my husband refuses? Will you come to our home to arrest him?
Well, I certainly wouldn't, but he could be subject to arrest. We haven't crossed that bridge just yet, to be honest with you. I don't have a good answer for you as to what would happen. I know that letter was sent out with the intent to tell people that, basically we know you have the weapon, and if that in fact is accurate and you haven't gotten rid of it, here are your options if you want to be within the boundaries of the law.
Okay, so isn't this a very slippery slope that's going on here? Going to put the police in harm's way?
I don't see that, ma'am. But
you mean going door to door to people's homes, if it comes down to that, is not putting the police in harm's way?
Well, I don't know. We're in harm's way every day, ma'am. We don't look at it like that. We just simply want people to abide by whatever the laws are, and we're sworn to uphold the law. That's.
But did you take an oath? Right. Did you take an oath to the Constitution, Lieutenant Vance?
Did I take an oath to the Constitution? What bearing does that have in this conversation, ma'am?
Well, because any law that is unconstitutional is null and void. If you're following an unlawful order, then you're going against the very
Constitution. Any law that's been deemed unconstitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court, I would have to agree with you, ma'am, but this law has not been deemed unconstitutional by the state and or Supreme Court. So until that does occur, it's a lawful law, ma'am.
Okay, so if the Supreme Court says it's a lawful law, okay, then are you going to start going to our homes?
I haven't. Well, I don't make that decision, ma'am.
Well, I know you don't make that decision, but if you are asked to, will you do it?
If we're instructed to, ma'am?
Yes, if you're instructed
I'm sure.
to.
We're not the Gestapo, and I don't want the inference of that. This is the third call I've taken on this today, and I don't know where all this is coming from, but quite frankly...
I can tell you where it's coming from. It's from scared people that live in the state of Connecticut that have...
Oh, okay. All right. I get it. And that's what you have attorneys for, and that's your attorney can give you advice as to what you should and shouldn't do relative to any law in the state of Connecticut. But, I can't give you that advice. All I can tell you is that the laws are written by your legislators, and they're signed into law by the leaders of our state. And those are the people you should be discussing this with, ma'am. We don't have any control over that whatsoever.
Well, yes, you do, because...
No, we don't, ma'am. No, I'll interrupt you. We do not.
Why do you say you have no control over this? I'm very curious.
We have no control, ma'am. We're sworn to enforce the laws of the state of Connecticut. And these are lawful laws that we're sworn to enforce. Now, how we're going to go about the mechanism of enforcing this law, that's still being determined, ma'am. And I think people are putting the cart before the horse here.
No, because we have to have this discussion because it's getting very dangerous.
Not with me, ma'am. Not with me. With your legislators would be the proper place.
No, because the police are the ones that are going to be used to enforce this law.
We certainly do enforce all laws, ma'am. We
the conversation. The conversation.
I don't want to talk about the Constitution, ma'am, at all. Not at all.
I said the conversation.
I'm talking about state law.
I said the conversation. I didn't say Constitution. I
Okay,
said
ma'am, you're asking a whole lot of questions. How can I help you, ma'am? What do you want me to do?
I want to know if it comes down to it, will the police go to my home if my husband refuses to give up a weapon that was formerly legal and now has been made illegal by a corrupt legislator? Will the police actually go to my home and threaten my family? Because I'm scared to death.
We don't threaten people, ma'am. That
if you're going with the force of government, that's a threat.
Ma'am, it sounds like you're anti-American. It sounds like you're anti-law.
I'm anti-American? No, I'm pro-American.
I cannot answer your questions.
I'm pro-American. Are you serious? You just called me anti-American?
No, ma'am.
Are you going to call me a terrorist now because I have questions?
I don't have time for this, ma'am. I don't have time for this. Now, if you don't want an answer to any questions, then I think our conversation is over.
I do want an answer.
I would suggest
I really want an answer.
Your attorney and have your attorney explain the laws to you and what your rights are and what you should do,
You're going to speak to me this way, someone that pays your salary as a resident of Connecticut?
I pay my own salary too, ma'am. I pay taxes probably just like you do.
You're a servant. You serve me. You don't serve the legislator, sir.
I serve everyone, ma'am. Everyone who lives in the state of Connecticut.
That's right.
Including myself, ma'am.
You don't serve the legislator, sir.
I do, ma'am.
You have to decide what you're going to do when it comes down to it.
Okay, ma'am. This is not a conversation I'm going to have with you because really it's not your affair what I do and what I don't do.
Really? If you come to my home and threaten me with the force of government...
I would never do that, ma'am. I would never do that.
Jail?
Never come to your home, ma'am. Absolutely would not do that because I don't do that kind of work, so you don't have to worry about that at all.
Well, maybe not you, but the lower people under your ranks that you'll send. Ma'am. Okay. That's the
we only enforce the laws that are broken, and if any laws are broken, we're sworn by the Constitution
well, remember
to enforce those laws.
Okay, remember the Supreme Court used to rule that black people were not human. Okay.
Ma'am, I think it's up to you to talk with your legislators and talk.
Well, the legislators don't listen. They don't listen.
There's nothing I can do about it, ma'am.
Yes, there is, because you can refuse to follow unlawful orders.
Okay.
If you can't do that, then it means you're an enemy of America.
Okay, ma'am, I'm not discussing this with you. I think our conversation's over. I suggest you contact your attorney, ma'am.
So really, all right, just remember, okay, you're the servant, we're the masters, okay? And if you come to my home...
Ma'am. I'm the master. You're
really?
Absolutely right.
You're the master?
Thank you very much for your
no, you're the servant.
Ma'am.
You're the servant. We're the masters.
Yeah. Thank
you come
you
to
very
my
much
home...
for your conversation, ma'am. Okay.